You guys, like, I would go to the bathroom every day at work and cry.
By now, we've all seen the video of the Black woman who tells her story about the racial discrimination and injustice that she received while working at Ebin or Ebin, however you pronounce that hair company's name, and how that company treated her. As a Korean American, I think it's essential to have open conversations about uncomfortable.
No, we're not using Ebin no more. Hell no, girl. You haven't.
Story time of me working for Ebin, New York as the only Black person in corporate. Honestly, y'all, it took a lot out of me to even make this video. It's been 3 months since I left the job. They actually fired me. Wrongful termination, but we'll get to that. It has just been a very long journey. Ebin, New York is a very popular beauty brand. They are very known for their 24-hour edge controls. I'll put it right here. And they're also very known for their wig sprays. So hairstylists, listen up, because a lot of you, even if you're not a hairstylist, if you're a Black woman, Black people in general, listen up, because I was treated so horribly, guys. Like, I would go to the bathroom every day at work and cry. It was to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. That's how bad it was. So I initially seen a job posting on LinkedIn for being their content creator, basically like the face of the brand. Just do like a quick couple of videos for them. So the HR lady, the company's very small. If that, like, the company is like 80 people or whatever. So there was only one HR person at the time. And this lady, she reached out to me on LinkedIn and she was like, oh, can you come in for an interview? Like, we would love to talk to you. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I go in there and she's just like telling me all about the brand. And I realized that she kept saying like, oh, we're trying to make it more diverse in the office. We're trying to make it, she just kept saying that. We're just trying to make it more diverse in the office. So I'm just looking around and I'm like, well, there are a lot of Korean people. How are you guys doing this? Like, what do you mean? There's no Black people at all? So she's showing me like, oh, they have like in-house beauty hairstylers, nail techs, lash techs, whatever, and they test out the products. They're not on a corporate side though. I didn't know this. I'm just thinking like, oh, okay, so I see some Black women in the office, you know, cool. So I'm looking around, it's just nothing but Korean people. That still didn't bother me because I still seen like some Black women in the office. So I'm like, cool, it doesn't matter. So she seen my resume and she was like, how do you feel about actually working full-time as a marketer, social media marketer? And I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I could come into the office every day and, you know, do marketing. That's what I went to school for, communications and marketing. So I took on a job. And the first day that I went to work, they was just basically showing me how to do stuff, what websites they use and things like that. So I'm already ready to make my first video, post it on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Wow. I edited this video and I posted it right before I left. And I noticed that it was going viral within 3 hours. Like, as soon as I posted it, it was going up. So I'm like, I'm getting excited because I'm like, oh, this is my first day and I'm already, you know, showing off, like doing my job. And I was looking at it all night. That's how excited I was. I kept scrolling, going on their page and looking at the video like I'm doing my big one. It was around 8 p.m. that I realized that the video was deleted. So I'm like, what's going on? I was reading the comments the whole time, y'all. Everyone was laughing at the video. They were saying whoever's on the marketing team needs a raise. They were saying all these positive things, right? So I go into work the next morning, and as I'm walking to my desk, I have to pass my supervisor's desk, and I have to pass another coworker that thought she was my supervisor. Let's get into that. We could get into that, but I'm gonna just keep going. So I'm going to my desk, and I see that my coworker is showing my supervisor the video that I posted on TikTok from the account or whatever. So I'm like, they're just like literally looking at it or whatever, like reading the comments. And I'm like, hey, good morning. Yeah, why did the video delete? And all I know is that they looked at me and they were just like, there was too many negative comments. So then I go on the account and I, you know, look at the comments. I'm like, there's no negative comments. Someone was saying like, oh, the person that posted it, like the marketing team, I mean the company better be black owned or something like that, because the video was funny. It was about SZA, I think it was. Like, it was about a black person doing a wig. It was some creative thing that I did. It was just all jokes, and it was good for marketing. So I was like, there's no negative comments here. And you know, I felt some type of way because I'm like, it was my first day. I made a video go viral. Y'all needed help going viral and, you know, keep marketing these products and stuff. And I'm over here doing it on the first day, and y'all trying to figure out one little thing. Y'all see one little comment that says something, you know, a little negative to y'all, and y'all want to delete it. That's not how this works. Like, yeah, we got to get some tough skin around here if y'all want to keep going up in this company. So I let that slide. But ever since that day, I realized, like, everyone was just in competition with me. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was just like they were no longer trying to teach me anything. They were no longer First of all, I realized, let me just backtrack. Ever since that day, they had started speaking Korean the whole time in the office, in the marketing room. Korean. I had no conversation with them. They would speak to me whenever they told me to just do something. They would have meetings in full-blown Korean. Even the CEO would come in and speak in Korean. And nobody thought to even, you know, like, look and be like, oh, let's just speak in English for now. You know, we do have a black lady here that's just not Korean, and she doesn't know anything that we're saying. So I just started feeling uncomfortable. I'm like, there's no way that, you know, everybody was speaking English in the beginning, the first day that I was there, you know, being very nice. And now all of a sudden, everyone's just speaking Korean the whole time, giggling, looking at me, laughing about things. And I have no idea what any of them are saying. So literally the next week, I came into the office. I go in the bathroom. I come out. My supervisor, my coworkers, no one in the marketing team is in the office. So I'm like, I know for sure the day before, my supervisor was telling me like, oh, we're going to go to New York to set up for this TV show that we're doing or whatever. So I'm like, I know they did not leave me in the office by myself while they're in New York. Like, they went to the New York office. So I contacted my supervisor right away, and he's like, oh yeah, we did leave you. He didn't really have anything to say. That's the thing that really got to me, is because like, he really just was like, oh yeah, we left you, just do some work, edit some videos or whatever. Like, he didn't have no real reason to be leaving me. Like, he just did not care. So I'm just like, I feel some type of way now, because it's like, y'all speaking Korean, y'all leaving me out of things. What, like, is this a team or not? So once I realized, like, they're separating me, I have coworkers that's talking to me any kind of way. The supervisor is just letting the coworkers talk to me any kind of way. I guess she thought that she was a supervisor, but we were literally on the same position. The first day, that was the only time she was nice to me. I guess once my video went viral, something switched. She was just like, oh, there's competition. I don't know, but I don't work like that. Like, if we're a team, we are a team. There's no reason for y'all to be like treating me any type of way. I'm new here, number one. I'm still trying to get the feel of things. I guess they felt intimidated. I don't know. But at that point, I just felt like, why am I in this office every day? Y'all are speaking Korean. Y'all don't want to speak to me at all. I'm at the lunch table trying to figure out where I'm going to go sit at, because the Korean culture, like, they all sit together. They talk. I sat with them like 1 or 2 days, the first 2 days, and they were just speaking Korean. They did not care. I just felt like that was so rude. So at this point, I'm feeling very uncomfortable about working there, but I'm still just like, you know, I'm very new. Hopefully it'll change. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I went to HR and I complained. Y'all know when people say like HR is not on your side, like HR is not your team, they're just here to protect the company. That's 100% true. In this case, I went to the HR lady and I was telling her, like, I feel very uncomfortable. There are incidents that's going on, and I just feel like something has to be done, because this is not the way I know that, you know, a corporate is supposed to be ran. And I'm not supposed to be getting treated like this. I'm a new employee. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I still feel like I'm being left out. Why is that? So she's just like, oh, I understand. Like, I'll speak to the marketing team. I'll speak to your supervisor. I'll try to get them back on track and try to get them, you know, to work with you. When I tell you guys I worked since August, I was complaining all the way up until January about these things. I even had to take a mental health leave because of this. It was messing with me every single day. The way they treated me, it was like they were micromanaging me a lot. So the Korean culture, like work culture, is very different. I get that. But the way I'm saying they're micromanaging me, every employee at Ebin, New York, they have to write down their daily tasks in Asana, right? The daily tasks, you have to put each hour what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So mine, I had to make sure I put, like, I edited 10 videos today. I posted this. I emailed this person. I reached out to influencers. I did this. Like, my Asana had a whole book of things. And I would get emails when my coworkers would post on their Asana, like upload their stuff. And you can just literally see, they would have like 3 bullet points, quick things like scheduler emails, this, that, like very broad. And I was the one that had to put everything in detail, make sure the links was there. Every single thing, guys. I just felt like, what is going on? You know what made it worse? The CEO of the company decided that I need to start having presentations with him, the vice president, HR, and the whole marketing team. And I had to let him know exactly what I was doing. I had to show him every post that I made, everything that I edited, everything, you know, outreach to influencers, every single thing. So at this point, I'm a little frustrated because it's like, now it's new other Koreans coming in doing the same thing, you know, like marketing and things like that in the same marketing room. And no one has had to do this presentation. I even asked people that were there before me, I'm like, have you guys ever had to do this presentation? They're like, no, I don't know why you had to do it. That's a problem. He's basically just telling me like, I don't know why you have to do all this, but that's very insane of you to have to sit there and like literally show them what you're doing when you literally are writing it down just how any other co-worker is doing. What really made me feel some type of way is the CEO still didn't care. Like he just had this look on his face, like a disgust look. And I was just like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? He's just like, I just don't see. Like, I just don't get what you do, or I don't get your job. And I was just like, well, didn't you hire me? Like, I'm pretty sure you, the company, being that he's the CEO, I get that. You guys are probably like, well, he probably didn't hire, he don't know. He goes through every single thing. He's there. Like, he's on your back while you work. He knew that I was going to get hired for the position, what I do, and everything like that. So for you to be talking to me saying, like, I just don't see what you do, and I don't get your job, and are you even happy here? Because if you're not happy here, then you can get out. He told me that. At this point, I just felt like, I sat there and asked him, I said, are you talking about the HR complaints that I've made about me feeling uncomfortable in a marketing room? And right then and there, you know, HR, everyone is in the room. HR is just like, no, he's not talking about that. No, he's not talking about that. So I just didn't know what to do at that point, because it's like, I don't want to quit. I still need a job. But at this point, it's like, they don't want me here. They want me to quit. So what do I do? To make things like a little bit more clear for you guys, Ebin, New York had just took ownership of a black-owned company. They were the first ones to do Jamaican black castor oil, and you know, they have hair products, all that good stuff. I don't really want to talk about the brand that they just, you know, kind of pushed me onto, because I was complaining so much to HR about me not feeling included with working under Ebin, New York specifically. But basically, they pushed me onto another brand that they took ownership of, and I did the social media for that specific brand. I was still in the same office with all the Koreans, you know, in the marketing room, in that same room, but now I just don't have a team. They told me that I'll have a new supervisor. The supervisor had no experience in marketing. He doesn't know nothing that I'm doing at all. He thinks that I'm just sitting there on my phone all day, because he doesn't realize that I use my phone to edit videos, and I use my iPad to edit all these videos and do all the graphics and things. And he's just sitting there trying to go back into CEO and the vice president and tell them, oh, she doesn't do anything, or like, she just does the bare minimum. Like, it just seemed like they looked for any little thing just to try to get me out of there. He told someone that he was trying to get me fired, if that makes sense, and it got back to me. This same new supervisor, guys, guess what he did? He told me to read over a resume. He literally handed me a paper, and he told me to read the name to see if it was a black name. A black name. What is... So I'm looking at it, I'm like, a black name? What do you mean by that? A black name? And what are you gonna do with it? And I was like, no, the last name actually was like, you can tell it was like a Hispanic name. But I was just like, what's your point, you know? And he never said anything. He was like, no, that's a black name. And then he snatched the resume back, and then that was just that. He was very rude, guys, and it was just like, it was unbelievable, the stuff that I was going through. I'm gonna give you guys another example. I had to travel to Atlanta for a photo shoot for a new line that we were doing, and this new supervisor, he had to book my hotel and stuff. So I had to travel by myself. Usually, like, I travel with coworkers and stuff. I was the only one that was traveling. I had to meet people that were already in Atlanta and do everything else. So I'm just fine with that. It is what it is. So I get to Atlanta. I have the Uber take me to the address of the hotel. Guys, when I tell y'all, this looked like a motel. It was bugs in the room. It was stuff all in the bed. It wasn't a hotel, I'll give you that. Like, it wasn't like just one tall building, nothing like that. It was like literally little rooms each everywhere. So at this point, I was traveling all day. It was like 6-7 p.m. I'm trying to walk. It was like later than that, actually, because it was like getting dark. So they had me all the way in the back. So I'm already feeling uneasy. I'm by myself out in Atlanta, and this is where y'all put me in? Y'all have all this money and y'all want to put me in a hotel like this? Y'all playing in my face. I was cool with 2 other workers that's in a different department. So I'm contacting them. I'm like, when y'all have to travel with, you know, Ebin, do you guys get treated like this? Or are you guys in a nicer hotel? Everyone's just shocked, completely shocked. They're like, I've never been in a hotel like that. I don't know where they have you, but you need to leave. And at that point, I'm just like, I definitely need to leave. I don't feel safe here. The part that they had me in was all the way in the back. It was just a mess. I'm going to insert some pictures in here so y'all can see it as I'm talking. But so once I realized I don't feel comfortable staying at this hotel, motel, whatever it was, I called him. And he's like, oh, I don't know what to tell you. I already booked it and there's nothing we could do. Bye. And hung up. I kid you not. That's all he did. While I'm sitting there on the verge of crying, saying, you know, I feel unsafe, the room is dirty, and, you know, it's not really a hotel that I feel comfortable in, anything like that. He just said, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to deal with it. Bye. Do you know how crazy I felt for my supervisor to do that, to book something like that, and then just say, I don't know what to tell you, and hang up in my face? At that point, it was just clear as day that they did not care about me at all. They just wanted me to get some work done, and that was it. If I didn't want to quit, they were going to just show me that you need to just quit, because that's it. I have like a whole list of stuff in my iPad that I wrote down each and every day. That's how bad it was, guys. Like, it was always something going on inside this office with me. It was like they were just attacking and attacking. And I had to just go to the bathroom every day and just cry and call my mother or call someone and just tell them what's going on. They couldn't believe I was going through all of that. And just to back it on up really quick, guys, there are 2 people that were working for the brand that they switched me to, if that makes sense. Like, they were on a contract because they still had to show the Koreans how to work, you know, how to work their company, if that makes sense. So I was in close contact with those 2 women, and one of the head of departments of marketing, he actually asked me, was I having a meeting with my grandmothers today? And by grandmothers, he meant those 2 black women, my grandmothers. Why would that be my grandmothers? And why is that appropriate to say in a workplace? anywhere. You don't know if my grandmother's dead, anything. I just couldn't believe that they would be talking to me like this. It was just insane. As if that wasn't enough, they tried to give me more problems while I was in Atlanta, but I just shook it off. So that next week, when we got back from the trip on Monday, I was working with the beauty advisors. I worked very close. That was the only safe space I had there, were the beauty advisors. Those were the black women that were in the hallways, you know, just testing out the products every day. That was my safe space. So as much as I could, like, I would just go and sit with them and try to do as much content as I could, because I felt uncomfortable in that marketing room because no one was talking in English. No one was speaking to me. I just felt, you know, left out. So why not try to be around, you know, people that will actually speak to me or even speak English? So I'm sitting with them, and my supervisor, he comes over to the table. He's like, Samaya, you spent $14 on food. I need the receipt now. I responded, I'm like, I'm sorry, because I did not know what he was talking about. And he's like, why do you have such an attitude? Like, he's literally yelling in front of the beauty advisors and at me, like in my face, like, why do you have such an attitude? And I'm like, all I said was, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, when did I spend $14 on food and drinks? Please let me know. So at that point, you know how when someone is like ready to say something else, but they're just like trying to hold their tongue? That's what he's doing. And I was like, I just genuinely don't know what you're talking about. He throws the receipt at me and it says, well, ask the head of marketing. The light went off, but we still going. So I go to the person that he told me to go to, which was originally my first supervisor when I first came to Ebin, New York. And I'm asking him, I'm like, all the expenses, receipts, and everything you have, like, I gave everything to you. I'm not sure why this person is coming at me like this, but please just help me figure this out right now. It's like, oh, well, I don't have the receipt for that date, this, that, and the third. So I'm just like, well, let's go through it together. We go through it, and he finds that same receipt for $14. So I go back to the first supervisor that came to me and was coming crazy at me. And I'm like, here, he had the receipt. And he didn't look not one bit at me. He didn't look at me. He didn't apologize for how he was speaking to me or anything. Not even the other supervisor that said that he didn't have the receipt. No one apologized. And I was just like, okay. I took it to the chin. You would think that's it for the day, right? No, it's not. An hour or two later, this supervisor decides to have a meeting with me. The same one I was just talking about, the receipt and all of that. Go in the hallway and have a meeting with me. I just want to let you guys know, like, the way that the office is set up is very little. Everything is glass doors, so you can hear, you can see everything that's going on, even in the hallway. We're sitting in the hallway. He has this whole paper that he done wrote out with dates and everything. It says, like, correct me if I'm wrong. On these dates, you didn't post anything. On these dates, you posted. Da, da, da. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? He said, correct me if I'm wrong. You're supposed to post on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok every day. And I was like, you're wrong. He said, how am I wrong? No, I'm not. Like, he's very defensive. I'm like, I'm supposed to only be posting on TikTok 4 times a week right now. He disregarded everything I said. Like, he did not care anything that came in my mouth. He tried to call 2 of the ladies that's giving the company over or whatever. And they're both saying the same thing that I'm saying. Like, they're agreeing to everything that I'm saying. So now he's very angry, and it gets to the point where he hangs up on the people that he was trying to, I guess, get to agree with him with, and starts going off on me like, well, how much content do you make? This, that. And I'm showing him, like, I just don't understand, though. Once again, we have this whole Asana sheet. I've been having presentations. I've been showing them exactly what I've been doing every single day, on the hour, on the dot, whatever they needed. So why are they still giving me a hard time? I don't know. But let's listen to the rest of what he said to me. He basically said, I don't think you're doing anything, and the person that was before you is better than you. So now I'm just like, excuse me? He's yelling this, by the way. He's not speaking calm about anything. He was very rude about it. He's like, I don't think you're doing anything. And at this point, we're going back and forth because I feel very disrespected. I'm literally showing him all my work, telling him what I do all the time, and this is what you say to me? That's very rude. So someone had ended up running out in the hallway and stopping him from yelling in my face. And I just walked away and started crying. Then they moved me to another supervisor. Now this supervisor is completely new. It's a woman, a Korean woman. She was new. She was telling me herself she didn't know nothing about marketing like that. She was telling me she didn't know nothing about the brands. That's fine. You could come in and do your research or whatever. But the way she was talking to me, she talked to me any kind of way, to the point where I'll have my headphones in or like sitting there doing graphics and stuff like that. She was saying, yo, this is how she spoke to me. Yo, like I was just a random black girl out on the streets. Why are you talking to me like that? You don't speak to no one else in the office like that, but you going like this in my face saying, yo, trying to get my attention. This is a corporate job? Like, I'm just confused. So at that moment, I got up and I noticed the CEO was in the lunchroom. I go to the lunchroom. I said, as you know, I have been having problems with the marketing team like crazy. Right now, I'm just letting you know what just happened. This new supervisor, she's talking to me crazy. She's snapping her fingers in my face. She's saying, yo, just trying to get my attention. I don't know why, but I don't like it. No one else is being treated like this. I told him exactly what I'm saying to you guys right now. I told him that. He's just looking at me like, I hear you. One ear out the other, honestly. Literally the next day, I got written up. Or warning for insubordination or something like that, because I went to the CEO instead of going to another person and telling them the situation that happened. Please let me know how crazy that is. I'm getting penalized for letting the higher ups know what's going on, because no one else is being able to fix the problems, the communication skills, everything that's going on right now. How does that work? It got worse from there. I had to take a mental health leave in December. At that point, I didn't even want to go back. I didn't even want to go back. I was crying to my mother saying, like, I just feel uncomfortable. They don't like me there. They treat me horrible. Everything. So why would I go back? And I regretted it. So the same day. No one welcomed me back. No one said hello to me when I walked in. And I said good morning to everyone. I said good morning. No one says anything. They just look at me, roll their eyes, or go on their phones. It was just a complete living nightmare. Mind you, I didn't do anything but do my job there, guys. I have a Korean coworker that even texted me and said, I don't know why they're so racist to you. I don't know why they're so racist to you. If they don't like you, they might as well just fire you. I don't know why they still have you here suffering. What really put the icing on the cake, you guys, is when the CEO, he called, well, we have these meetings for design, and the whole company goes to these meetings. It was time for the marketing team to go inside. Everyone else is there. So I'm going inside, and he stops the meeting. The CEO completely stops the meeting because there was someone on a screen talking. He stops the meeting and he says, Samaya, and points to the door. He says something really fast, like, you don't need to be in here. He points to the door. I'm very confused. Everyone's looking at me like, huh? That's what he did, though. He kicked me out, and I just went back to my desk because I was very confused. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just sit here. A couple hours go by, and I seen that he was out in a hallway on his phone, like just walking. I went up to him, and I asked him, I said, hey, can we talk? He said no. So I'm like, I'm pushed back. I'm like, why? I asked him why. He said, I don't need to speak to you, man. That's how he said it. I don't need to speak to you, man. What? The CEO of Ebin, New York is talking to me like this, guys. Guess he felt some type of way about me complaining to HR, and HR going back to him and telling him these things. But that's how he reacted. The HR person wasn't there that day. So the next day, I decided that that was going to be my last day. What I mean by that is, if nothing was going to change right then and there, if they're not going to give me the respect that I deserved from day one, I wasn't going to do any work until I speak to HR once again, and we're going to get something done. So I had the meeting, we get inside, and they're like, we don't want to talk about anything that, you know, the CEO has done to you, has said to you, anything like that. We're just going to terminate you. Terminate me for what? Oh, because your KPI performance and I've never seen no KPI performance. Isn't that a wrongful termination? If you guys are just now trying to fire me over something like this, when I've been complaining about this company this whole time, KPI performance, I got all my work done all the time. They just try to put together any little thing, guys. How could a company target nothing but African Americans, women of color, and things like that, and treat the only black woman that you have in that corporate like that? You guys, like, I will go to the bathroom every day at work and cry.
I'm really upset. And not even at the Koreans, because they're going to be Koreans. I'm upset at the fact that this fine-ass girl that sat there and cried in their bathroom. I can't even say what the fuck I want to say, but baby, who finna cry in a motherfucking bathroom at a job that I don't have to be at? Baby, I ain't got no job now. Because fuck Toyota. Oh, this ain't about me. No, this ain't about me. Who finna cry in the motherfucking bathroom? Not me. Baby, I will walk the fuck off. Fuck you and this job too. Baby, you should... I'm guaranteed your fine ass got your shit in order. You got a driver license. You got a good ass career and job and things. Girl, you said you graduated. Go somewhere else and find some ass. And if another motherfucker make you cry, punch them. Goddamn, punch them.
So, hey guys, one black woman alone is boycotting an entire corporation, an entire company, and I'm here for it. And I love to see other black women behind her, supporting her movement, because we know what it means. We know the experience. It's like an unspoken rule of like the abuse that black women face when it comes to like Asian beauty supply stores, especially like verbally and all that stuff. And meanwhile, they are catering to our community, like making things to sell to us, which we do buy a whole lot of, and also they're being rude on top of that. And did you know that a lot of black natural hair products that is catered to black women, or it has a black name, you know what I mean, it wasn't even created by a black person. It was created by a white person or an Asian person. It was not created by a black person, but it is quote unquote for our hair. How can you make a product for our hair? You don't even know how our hair is. You don't even know what it is about our hair, like how to take care of our hair. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even have children that have that kind of hair, so you can't possibly make a product for our hair particularly. But I'm here for this movement, and I have my personal opinion at the very end of the video, so stay tuned.
I will never be purchasing from a Korean-owned beauty supply store ever.
I'm honestly so glad we're talking about this again, because I never got to share my story up until now, and I'm so glad I finally came. But this happened last summer when I was on a date with my boyfriend, and we were in a plaza, and at that plaza there's a buffet called Hot and Cold. So after we're done eating, we have time to still spare. We're waiting on his grandma to come pick us up in like, what, 2 hours? So for these 2 hours, we're just going to go looking in and out of the stores and stuff. And since time is passing by fast, our last store is the beauty supply store that's near the Hot and Cold over there. And so we're walking in, you know, nothing happens until we like walk to the back and stuff, and we see a big mirror. And me and my boyfriend are like, okay, let's snap some pictures and stuff so we can post on Instagram. And so we're taking pictures and stuff, and once we're finally done, like as soon as we're done taking pictures, we're about to we put the phone down and we're about to go walk back to the front. This Asian lady peeps her head over right here. She peeped her head over to come look at us, and she's just like, when I look at her, she makes a shocked face. But what are you shocked for? The situation itself was very weird and creepy. She didn't even say any words to us, nor did the other Asian lady that was over there. But the main one was like, you know, looking stuff. She kind of just gave us a look. And we were at the front. She gave us a look and stuff. And she kind of was just like looking to see what we were doing again. And so we just hurried and left. I will say though that if a beauty supply store called Beauty Empire is your local one, if you're a black woman, black girl, take precautions if you're going to go in there.
I will never be purchasing from a Korean-owned beauty supply store ever again. It's not happening for me, and I know a lot of black girls are already saying this. Like, I just can't keep doing this for my own mental health. Like, I need to find black-owned, like, beauty supply stores, because what happened to me today in Hawthorne, like, I don't even want to say that I've never experienced anything like this, because I have in these types of stores, but to this severity, it was just, like, it literally threw me off. Like, I was shook. So essentially, I live 40 minutes away from Hawthorne. I have been looking for a glueless wig for a while, but I just want to feel it. Like, I don't want to just buy it online. But at this point, it's looking that I might have to. So I go to this store because it's been recommended by literally everyone that I know, and they're like, oh, they have so many things, and I'm just like, okay, cool, like I want to go see what variety they have, because where I live in Orange County, there's not really a good variety. So drive to Hawthorne, 40 minutes. Once I get there, I go by myself into the store. The attendant that like helped me out in the beginning, the person that greeted me, I think they were Latino, and he was just absolutely like so great, so nice. I was like, oh, do you guys have like glueless wigs? And he was like, oh, you know, we might have some in the back. So like I go to the back area, and he's like, you know, if you have any questions, somebody should be over there to help you out. I was like, cool. So I head there, but I'm noticing that there's a Korean guy following me around. At this point, there were 2 other women, black women, that were in the store, but I think they had already checked out, so it was just me in the store with 3 or 4 other workers, and then this Korean dude and like a Korean woman. And I'm presuming that this man was the owner of the store, because he kept asking people if they had taken their breaks. So he's following me around as I'm looking around at the units, and I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know exactly what I want. I just needed to see it in person. And so I'm looking around. He's still following me for like a solid 10 minutes. He comes up to me and he's like, do you know what you're looking for? And I was like, yeah, I'm just looking for like a glueless wig. Do you guys have any?
So we're not using Ebin no more. Hell no, girl. You haven't been on Wig Talk, Hair Talk, whatever you want to call it, and you haven't seen the boycott that's going on right now. A young black woman who goes by the name of My Lifestyle here on TikTok was employed at Ebin's corporate office as a marketing content creator. She faced so much racism and discrimination across the board. Not to mention, she was the only black woman employed at their office, and everybody else was of Asian descent, which is absolutely fucking mind-boggling to me, because bitch, y'all bite off our backs down. The black community is the only people keeping y'all in business, and the fact that y'all will go out of y'all way to disrespect the only black woman on y'all team when y'all market y'all products to our community specifically is fucking disgusting. A couple other women face the same type of disrespect and treatment in their offices, and bitch, something gotta shake. The companies whose target audience and top demographic of profit is literally the black community. Bitches, you cool? All okay over there? For real. The fact that wigs and weaves is our shit. It's our shit, and audacity of y'all to disrespect the only black person on y'all team, bitch? Hell no. Also goes for these wig companies underpaying all of these black influencers for content. Y'all getting 100K plus of revenue off of these wig links, and you want to pay the influencer $100, or if that. Got us fucked up all the way around. We're not gonna get on the wig companies today, but Ebin, we on your ass. Let's store y'all and find some more lace spray alternatives, because this is America's next top lace spray. Catch y'all, we back. We got 5 different lace sprays. I just have to travel around the whole city of Chicago to find these, girl. So bitch, listen up. Brands I've tried before, y'all. Some of these I haven't. I mainly chose these brands because they're more accessible to a lot of people in other communities. I really didn't want to go to a beauty supply store. I wanted to kind of go to like CVS, Target, Walmart, just because they're more accessible to all of y'all. We have the Kiss Colors and Care Lace Bond, Not to Be High Insta Hold, She Helmet Head, SMA Freeze Hold. We have the ORS Wig Grip Spray. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, if y'all already have Ebin products, girl, finish your product. You spent your hard-earned money on those products. Just try not to rebuy the product when you run out, y'all. And if you do, girl, just know your black dollar is going to a company that don't fucking like you. About to install this wig 5 different times. First up, we have the Kiss Colors and Care Lace Bond. This is my personal recommendation, y'all, but we finna give all of these hairsprays a chance to becoming America's next top lace spray, girl. Episode 1 through 5, testing all of these different lace sprays, is on my feed now. Go check it out.
By now, we've all seen the video of the black woman who tells her story about the racial discrimination and injustice that she received while working at Ebin or Ebin, however you pronounce that hair company's name, and how that company treated her. As a Korean American, I think it's essential to have open conversations about uncomfortable issues, whether that's addressing racism, discrimination, or cultural misunderstandings. And dialogue is crucial for growth and understandings. While these conversations can be difficult, they are necessary for creating positive change and fostering greater empathy and acceptance within our community. And as a Korean American, I think it's so important for us to talk about why Korean-owned beauty stores can be problematic. While these businesses are often a part of our community, it's crucial to address the issues of cultural appropriation, exploitation, and lack of representation that can arise from these Korean beauty supply stores. And by discussing these issues openly, we can work towards creating more equitable and inclusive spaces within our own community and beyond. In this post, I want to talk about how it came to be that Koreans owned beauty supply brands and how this whole thing intersects with that lady's video and her treatment from Koreans. It's no secret that black hair products are run largely by South Koreans, and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Korean Americans cornered this market decades ago by controlling the manufacturing, distribution, and retail sale of hair extensions and wigs, which has been the moneymaker for the hair industry. And unfortunately, these Korean wholesalers will shut out black hair owners and will only supply those to Korean retailers instead. So let's take it back to how this all began, how Koreans took over the beauty supply industry and hair industry. Koreans own many black beauty supply stores due to historical reasons and economic opportunities. In the late 70s and 1980s, many Korean immigrants who faced a lot of language and cultural barriers found entrepreneurships in black neighborhoods to be a viable option. This was also a time that black hair care products were becoming popular and very profitable. Korean immigrants who were already familiar with the retail and distribution industry began to dominate this market specifically. But why specifically Koreans? Why did Koreans go into this hair market? Well, hair collectors traveled the countryside of South Korea, offering cash to or even bartering women and girls in exchange for their hair. Hair was bundled and sold to wholesalers who then resold it to wig factories. Wig manufacturing is labor intensive. The hair must be combed and sorted for length. If the hair is natural, it's also got to be disinfected, washed, curled, and dyed. Finally, the hair is sewn into a cloth netting. And yet these wage imbalances allowed wigs to be made in South Korea and imported to the United States and then sold at large markups. And in the 1960s, the wig business and the explosion of wig business in South Korea was instrumental in understanding the Korean ownership of Korean beauty supply stores. For instance, YH Trade Wig Manufacturing Company, whose founder, Young Ho Chang, came up with the idea to make wigs and sell them. His company exported $100 million worth of wigs between the years of 1965 to 1978. That's a lot. And the wig business was doing so well, especially amongst African American consumers, that in 1965, the Korean wig merchants joined together and convinced the Korean government to outlaw the export of raw hair. This ban made it so that one can only buy the pre-made wigs and extensions. In other words, Korean hair could only be manufactured in Korea. And several years later, the United States government created a ban on any wig that contains hair from China, effectively putting South Korea in prime position to exploit the market. And this essentially helped set up many Korean entrepreneurs in the sale of wigs and hair and has fueled them to evolve into full-fledged beauty stores where hair extensions and wigs represent the top selling products. And generations of Korean Americans have duplicated this business model because if one business is doing well, then it must be a good market. And that's where we see the boom of Asian-owned beauty supply stores. Today, there are over 9,000 Korean-owned beauty supply stores serving a multi-million-dollar market for black hair. Between manufacturing, distributing, and selling hair care products, Koreans appear to control all major components. There are only 4 central distributors serving beauty supply stores in the country, and these Korean-owned distributors heavily discriminate against black store owners. And the relationship between Korean Americans and African Americans is complex and multifaceted, especially in the beauty supply and hair supply industry. And I couldn't make this video without talking about the LA riots of 1992 and the Korean American store owner who shot Letitia Harlins. If you don't know, Letitia Harlins was a 15-year-old African American girl who was fatally shot by Korean American store owner Soon Ja-do, a Korean American convenience store owner, on March 16th, 1991 in Los Angeles, California. The shooting occurred just 13 days after Rodney King was beat by LAPD officers, and that incident sparked widespread outrage and protests. The tragic encounter between Latasha and Soon took place after an altercation over a bottle of orange juice, during which Soon accused Latasha, of attempting to steal the juice. But security footage showed Harlins holding money in her hand, but Soon grabbed her backpack, and then Latasha punched her. And as she turned to leave, the store owner shot her in the back of the head, killing her instantly. The store owner was charged with murder, but during her trial, she argued that she believed that Latasha was attempting to steal and that she acted in self-defense, as we've heard many times before when it comes to African Americans being killed by self-defense. The jury, however, convicted Du of voluntary manslaughter, a charge that carried a maximum of sentence of 16 years in prison. However, the judge sentenced Du to probation, community service, and a small fine, a decision that outraged a lot of people in the Black community. The death of Latasha Harlins remains a symbol of racial injustice and the strained relations between Korean Americans and the African American community. And unfortunately, we still see the racial injustice and strained relations between the African American community and Korean American community in beauty supply stores and any Korean-owned store where there are African-American customers, and this has to be stopped. I stopped shopping at Korean-owned beauty supply stores a few years ago because I felt uncomfortable supporting an industry where my own community had a lot of prejudice and racial discrimination, and it bothered me to see my own people involved in an industry where they often lacked understanding and empathy for their African-American customers. If you are a Black beauty and or hair care business owner, I'd love to support you and your business. Please feel free to comment below and share your business with me and others.
I've seen a lot of videos from Black girls getting discriminated against in Korean beauty stores. What the fuck? Like, if it wasn't for Black women, these stores wouldn't exist, right? So I'm confused about that. And I just want to know, can a Black girl get a fucking break? Can the Black girls please catch a break on some shit in life? Can they? With that said, I want to address some of the girls on here talking about Korean stores. And first of all, there are some Korean stores where they love y'all. They love Black culture. They love Black folks. So find those and support them. And better yet, let's support other Black women opening Black girl product stuff and support them. How about that? Like, hit the asshole discriminatory bigots where it hurts, which is their wallet. And there's a young lady on this app. Her name is Kimchi Cakes. She went through a whole entire research on how Korean business people ended up making wigs for Black women. Apparently, like years ago, it goes deep. Years ago, they used to go in villages, like buying hair off women's heads to make wigs and weaves for Black people in America. So it's kind of like heartbreaking that this is all coming to light now. But at the same time, not all that surprising because I'm half Korean and half Black. I was born in Korea to a Korean mom who raised me alone until I was 8, brought me to my grandma's till I was 11, and then gave me up for adoption when I was 12. I spent 11 to 12 in an orphanage in Korea. So, and the main reason they gave me up for adoption, my family, my Korean family, who loved me so much, and I credit for the resilience of my life, is that they knew that I would have a better life here in America because of the discrimination I suffered day in and day out as a child, a mixed race child in Korea without a dad. So being spit at, throwing rocks, sticks, beat up, all of it, like whatever you can think about, it happened because I was half black. And I didn't meet my dad until I came to America, and Ancestry.com found him when I was 50. And being immersed in my American black family has changed the trajectory of my life. The rich history and culture through all of it. So when I see like stuff like this on the internet, I get like all tumultuous on the inside because I have a great love for my mom and my grandma and the sacrifices they made for me. And of course, the Korean culture, because it's still a part of me. And of course, a great love for my black culture as well. And it's really, at the end of the day, we have to address what hurts. We have to address where shit is fucked up. And maybe boycott those stores where they're not nice to you. And support other black women who have wig shops. And my God, we're in the freaking age of Amazon and TikTok shops and whatnot. Do we really have to go to stores in the hood? And by the way, they were getting loans back in the day to open shops and stores in black neighborhoods because they weren't giving out loans for the black folks. So Korean people in business have benefited greatly, and I feel like they just need to be educated, especially the old folks. Korea is a homogenous society, and I think it's getting better and it's improving thanks to hip hop and the Gen Zs. I mean, how many boy bands in Korea are all over the place with hip hop and show their love of black culture day in and day out? Like, it's starting to happen, but I think we can do a lot more and maybe give a little bit of grace in where we're kind of alike. We're both like super confrontational. I mean, I'm both. So yeah, I will fuck up anybody that's talking shit. Disrespect, are you kidding me? So yeah, maybe a little bit more grace. And go ahead and follow Kimchi Cakes. She's really smart and funny too. And I really appreciated her going the extra mile to bridge the gap. And it's one thing for a mixed race person like me to try to bridge the gap, but a whole ass Korean girl telling the black community, I'm sorry that you went through that. And please show me where your business is because I want to support you. Kind of made me smile for the day.
Wow, man. Damn.
Okay, so this is part 2 of my experience of working at Ebin, New York. So in part 1, I discussed how they pretty much used us for our ideas, drained us dry for our ideas, and told us that they would give us an $100 incentive if we give them our original ideas for them to produce it and make millions and thousands of dollars off of our idea. And the kicker is, they didn't even give us, they didn't even honor it, and they would not give us our money when we brought it up to say, hey, you guys said that you would pay us if we gave you these original ideas and we gave you these resources. And because my thing is, we were the only black girls in the company, so the only idea or depiction that they had of black women was us, if you get what I'm saying. So the way that we act, the way that we did certain things, because even when I would I'm not a person where if I'm upset, I stay very calm. You know, I know how to articulate myself, and I speak, you know, what I think is wrong in a very professional way. And I have emails still. Y'all, if I want to see the emails, let me know, because I'm telling you, I have all the receipts. I still have all of the notebooks that I wrote all my notes in, my original ideas in. I still have all of that. All of it. So this is not alleged. This is real. There's 2 products that they just developed that just went live on their website. That was my original idea that the Lord had put in my mind. And I was like, yeah, this is a good idea. And I was a fool to share that idea with them. Because you know what they did? They developed it. And you know who's getting money? They are. I'm not getting no money out of that. And one of the ideas is I'm trying not to get frustrated, y'all. But yeah, they stole my original ideas and they produced it. So
outside of that, I also went on multiple brand trips with the brand, and they were very weird when we went on brand trips. We went to New Orleans. It was 4 of us, of the beauty advisors that were black, that we went. And on the brand trip, they were being very weird to us. We went to the restaurant, and they were like, oh, you guys have to Uber there and like find your way back to the hotel type of thing, which was very weird because everybody else was Ubering, yes, but they all had company cards. So they all were using the company cards to Uber back and forth. But when it came to us, they was like, no, you guys use your own money, and then we'll pay you back. We'll reimburse you. Keep that in mind. So at the end of dinner, first of all, let's backtrack real quick. We in the middle of New Orleans. That was my first time ever going to New Orleans. I want some gumbo. I want some jambalaya. I want the things. I want a seafood boil. I want to eat. Right? They were like, so the first night we got there, we were excited. We were like, yeah, let's go. You know, I was talking to my roommate that was there. And we were like, yeah, let's go to this restaurant. Let's find some good restaurants to go to Bourbon Street. We were told by one of the girls who was supposed to be like over us or whatever. She was like, yeah, because she's been there longer. So she was like, yeah, oh, did my mic die? I think it did, y'all. Did it die? I hope y'all can still hear me. Yeah, I think it died. Hold on, y'all. So the girl that was supposed to be like, I don't want to say she was our manager, but she was like, you know how you have like cashiers and you have like a lead cashier? Let's say like she was like that. She's like a lead cashier. So she was like, oh, you guys can't do like whatever y'all want to do. Mind you, we're not on company time because we already did what we needed to do. We're off. She was like, no, you guys can't do what you need to do because we have to go to like a company dinner, like a welcome dinner. So I'm like, okay, where we going? They're like, oh, they decided on Korean barbecue. I'm like, I don't want Korean barbecue. We are in New Orleans and you talking about some Korean. And then the thing is, one of the girls that I was with, she had a dietary, you know, she didn't eat pork or whatever. So she's like, no, I'm not really trying to go because they like, I don't want that. We ain't want that. And we were forced to go. Then when we get there, they was like, oh yeah, all of the beauty advisors, y'all get together and y'all call your own Uber. And they left us outside the restaurant. Left us. I went to the bathroom, came back, and all it was just the beauty advisor standing outside. And they all turned to look to me and they was like, oh, Imani, you're the only one with Uber and Lyft. Can you Uber us back to the hotel? Huh? And then they're like, oh, no, it's okay. Just save the screenshots and we'll reimburse you. I'm like, why is this not the thing for everybody else? Y'all using company cards to everybody else, but with us, we got to pay out of our own pocket and then y'all reimbursing us. Then at the New Orleans show, y'all, it's so much. I could do a whole video just on that show. At that show, that's when I started to realize that something was very off. First of all, they lied to us about the pay. They told us they were going to pay us a certain amount, which was different from our hourly amount because we were doing something way different. We were interacting with hundreds and thousands of people. We were doing live demos, which we weren't supposed to be doing. They're supposed to hire someone else to do it. And then at the last minute said that they didn't hire them, so they wanted us to do live demos, and they did not want to pay us to do live demonstrations. And we had to do 2. I did 2 live installs on how to, you know, use Ebin products and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Did the whole demo. And the girls was going to buy it. Like, they were standing there watching, and then they were going to buy the products because that's just how it works. And y'all telling me that y'all don't think we deserve compensation? Mind you, I have a background of doing hair, of doing makeup, and you're telling me that my knowledge of what I know is not worth you paying me. And then it was a girl that worked with me who was also, she's worked with celebrities, and she's you know, she does bridal makeup, she does hair and everything, and she's on there, she's like, bro, I've worked for magazines, and y'all trying to tell me that y'all not gonna pay me for the demos? Like, this is insane. So we agreed on a certain amount, and this is why I would say, like, I was very naive at the time, and I was just very excited. Like, I was like, oh, this is my first brand trip, but you have to be very careful with these people because these people really be playing games. So we agreed on a certain amount. It was not in writing, it was like a verbal agreement. We were supposed to sign contracts before we went to New Orleans, but they purposely did not give us our contracts. And when we came back, there still never was a contract. They kept saying, we're revising it. It was never a contract, y'all. When we got back and when we seen how much we were getting paid, they were trying to pay us our regular hourly rate as a beauty advisor. What? After we were doing demos, talking to all these people, I'm making content. Mind you, we were also working with another company that they had acquired. And so I'm running between the Ebin booth and the other people's booth. So I'm working for both booths. Then at one time, I had to be the MC because the MC didn't come for the third day. So I had to be an MC. I had to be a sales associate. I had and you're telling me that you're going to pay me the same rate that I've been paying by sitting at the desk and testing products? Absolutely not. So I was like, nah, y'all need to pay me the rest of my money. So we was going back and forth with the lady from HR because she was supposed to be like the person who was like the bridge between the blacks and the Koreans. Let's just be very honest. That's what it was. Because anytime I have a manager of research of R&D, right? And I would go up to her and talk to her like, hey, you know, I just had a question about this. I had a question about that. And they would be like, don't talk to her. Like, you can't talk to her. I'm like, why can't I talk to her? No, if you have any questions, you gotta go to HR lady, or you have to go to the lady that they were trying to call the lead cashier. Mind you, she was never there. And she would always come to me and ask me what was happening for the day because she was never there. So now I'm like, there's no representation for black people at that company. Like, they just flat out blackfishing. They want you to think it's a black owned company. They want to use blackface. They want to, because even when we were sitting here at these events, oh, the black girls was front and center, and all the people who were Korean, they were either restocking in the back or they were just checking you out. But the black women was front and center.
Story time of me working for Ebin, New York as the only black person in corporate. Honestly, y'all, it took a lot out of me to even make this video. It's been 3 months since I left the job. They actually fired me. Wrongful termination, but we'll get to that. It has just been a very long journey. Ebin, New York is a very popular beauty brand. They are very known for their 24-hour edge controls. I'll put it right here. And they're also very known for their wig sprays. So hairstylists, listen up, because a lot of you, even if you're not a hairstylist, if you're a black woman, black people in general, listen up, because I was treated so horribly, guys. Like, I would go to the bathroom every day at work and cry. It was to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. That's how bad it was. So I initially seen a job posting on LinkedIn for being their content creator, basically like the face of the brand. Just do like a quick couple of videos for them. So the HR lady, the company's very small. If that, like, the company is like 80 people or whatever. So there was only one HR person at the time. And this lady, she reached out to me on LinkedIn and she was like, oh, can you come in for an interview? Like, we would love to talk to you. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I go in there and she's just like telling me all about the brand. And I realized that she kept saying like, oh, we're trying to make it more diverse in the office. We're trying to make it, she just kept saying that. We're just trying to make it more diverse in the office. So I'm just looking around and I'm like, well, there are a lot of Korean people. How are you guys doing this? Like, what do you mean? There's no black people at all? So she's showing me like, oh, they have like in-house beauty hairstylers, nail techs, lash techs, whatever, and they test out the products. They're not on a corporate side though. I didn't know this. I'm just thinking like, oh, okay, so I see some black women in the office, you know, cool. So I'm looking around, it's just nothing but Korean people. That still didn't bother me because I still seen like some black women in the office. So I'm like, cool, it doesn't matter. So she seen my resume and she was like, how do you feel about actually working full-time as a marketer, social media marketer? And I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I could come into the office every day and, you know, do marketing. That's what I went to school for, communications and marketing. So I took on a job. And the first day that I went to work, they was just basically showing me how to do stuff, what websites they use and things like that. So I'm already ready to make my first video, post it on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. Wow. I edited this video and I posted it right before I left. And I noticed that it was going viral within 3 hours. Like, as soon as I posted it, it was going up. So I'm like, I'm getting excited because I'm like, oh, this is my first day and I'm already, you know, showing off, like doing my job. And I was looking at it all night. That's how excited I was. I kept scrolling, going on their page and looking at the video like I'm doing my big one. It was around 8 p.m. that I realized that the video was deleted. So I'm like, what's going on? I was reading the comments the whole time, y'all. Everyone was laughing at the video. They were saying whoever's on the marketing team needs a raise. They were saying all these positive things, right? So I go into work the next morning, and as I'm walking to my desk, I have to pass my supervisor's desk, and I have to pass another coworker that thought she was my supervisor. Let's get into that. We could get into that, but I'm gonna just keep going. So I'm going to my desk, and I see that my coworker is showing my supervisor the video that I posted on TikTok from the account or whatever. So I'm like, they're just like literally looking at it or whatever, like reading the comments. And I'm like, hey, good morning. Yeah, why did the video delete? And all I know is that they looked at me and they were just like, there was too many negative comments. So then I go on the account and I, look at the comments. I'm like, there's no negative comments. Someone was saying like, oh, the person that posted it, like the marketing team, the company better be black owned or something like that, because the video was funny. It was about SZA, I think it was. Like, it was about a black person doing a wig. It was some creative thing that I did. It was just all jokes, and it was good for marketing. So I was like, there's no negative comments here. And I felt some type of way, because I'm like, it was my first day. I made a video go viral. Y'all needed help going viral and keep marketing these products and stuff, and I'm over here doing it on the first day, and y'all trying to figure out one little thing. Y'all see one little comment that says something a little negative to y'all, and y'all want to delete it. That's not how this works. Like, yeah, we got to get some tough skin around here if y'all want to keep going up in this company. So I let that slide. But ever since that day, I realized like everyone was just in competition with me. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was just like they were no longer trying to teach me anything. They were no longer First of all, I realized, let me just backtrack. Ever since that day, they had started speaking Korean the whole time in the office, in the marketing room. Korean. I had no conversation with them. They would speak to me whenever they told me to just do something. They would have meetings in full-blown Korean. Even the CEO would come in and speak in Korean. And nobody thought to even, like, look and be like, oh, let's just speak in English for now. We do have a black lady here that's just not Korean, and she doesn't know anything that we're saying. So I just started feeling uncomfortable. I'm like, there's no way that, everybody was speaking English in the beginning, the first day that I was there, being very nice. And now all of a sudden, everyone's just speaking Korean the whole time, giggling, looking at me, laughing about things. And I have no idea what any of them are saying. So
I heard we boycotting Ebin, and I hope y'all just know, after this boycott, y'all cannot keep using that product. Because if y'all know anything about corporate Korean, is that them motherfuckers are petty. When I mean petty, they are petty. Downright petty and do not care. They will literally do some foul shit in your face, smile at you, say they did it and not care. Even if it's illegal. You will never get an apology out of them. I bet you not. You'll probably get the most fakest one, but I promise you, you're not gonna get an apology. This whole blocking the comments, this whole not responding, don't you use that product, because I swear to God, they're gonna come back. Probably, maybe they are gonna do a little apology, but that formula will never be the same. They are going to sacrifice their company, name it something else, let y'all use this product and put something that's gonna make our hair fall out. I would not put it past them. If you literally dabble into Korean corporate and Korean drama and Korean true crime, you will definitely agree with what I'm saying. So, don't throw your Ebin away. Keep it. Just don't buy no more. Don't buy it. I was gonna be on that little baby powder commercial talking about we all got cancer.
We are back with another episode to expose hair brands that play like they black owned, but they ain't black owned. This comment came and said, what about Dax Grease? Well, please hold. Ciao, he said there's no wax like Dax. This is Herman Blay, okay? He's the founder of the Dax company, the Imperial Dax company nearly half a century ago in his garage in Brooklyn. It was launched. But let me show you what he puts in his About Us. I just want y'all to see this, okay? Building on its foundation of providing high quality hair care to meet the unique needs of African Americans and Hispanics. This is Dax, y'all. He wants to meet our needs. I think Ebin done opened Pandora's box because there's more and I'm exposing them all. So y'all go ahead in the comments, y'all drop those products that y'all using and I'm gonna let y'all know if they really black owned.
I'm pretty sure there's stores now where you can search black owned supply beauty stores.
All I heard was that you were looking for black owned businesses, so here I am. I've been working on this buying guide for quite some time for Pink Takeover, the Black Women's Holiday. And after this situation about this time last year where the police were called on me, I only shop at black owned beauty supply stores. So on this side of these social media streets, it's all about supporting our businesses. Over 70 different categories and 700 businesses, even the book section, if you buy a book, it goes to a black owned business. Because they're the guardians of our history, we have to protect them as well. Use the scroll bar to take you back to page 160. Page is subject to change, so keep checking at that chapter because this guide is growing from week to week. There are currently 16 black owned businesses to choose from. Yesterday we started with 12. Black women came in swinging into the comment section, so they added in 4 more brands that they love to have added to the guide. We checked them out, and here they are. And by the way, this is totally free. I am not getting paid. This is all free.
Okay, so I don't know who else saw the video of the young lady sharing her experience as the only black employee at Ebin. But when I see stuff like that, I just be like, all right, who are these people? You know, and like, I'm not coming on here to like, you know, put anyone on blast or anything like that. It's not my place, not my experience to kind of go through all that. But I just be wanting a visual, you know, because sometimes we don't do our due diligence of like who's behind the company. Like we see a product, it works well, we like, okay, cool. But it's just a reminder of like, damn, like I really gotta check every single, like everything has to be ethical. Like the fact that they turned off all their comments, like that's weird behavior. That's really weird.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I was extra triggered by that Ebin, New York story that I heard over the weekend. And being that I've been in a very similar situation more than once, one time where I actually had to sue a former employer, I'm going to let you know what you should be doing in the event you end up in a hostile work environment. So the first thing that you should be doing is something that she did correctly, and that is document everything. I don't care how big, how small you think it is. Write it down, write the date. Make sure you're documenting it for yourself, and also make sure you document it with HR, even if they are not helpful. If they aren't helpful, that's actually going to help you in the long run because we're going to use that against them. Depending on the level of hostility taking place in the situation, in the work environment, sometimes you feel more comfortable emailing it to yourself or emailing it to a supervisor or whoever, but make sure you're documenting. One of the big parts of documenting, though, that many people forget is that you can actually record some of these situations. Most likely when these people start acting out, honey, they get comfortable and they're gonna do it again, and with that you're gonna use it against them. What I'm gonna need for you to do is know the consent laws in your state for taping phone calls, because that's exactly what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna tape those phone calls and you're gonna tape those conversations. For example, Ebin, New York is in New Jersey, but I believe they also have a New York location. With that, New Jersey and New York are both one-party consent states. What that means is that if you are a part of that conversation, you can record that conversation without the other party giving their consent. The other party being the party that you are in the conversation with. Therefore, hit that record button and get those people on tape. That you may say, how can I catch this on tape? I don't know when people are gonna act out. Honey, be on ready. Stay on ready, because that's what I had to do. If you're getting pulled into a meeting, don't go immediately. You don't have to do anything immediately. One of the things that I like to do is I actually need 5 minutes. I need 10 minutes to gather myself. I actually have to go to the restroom right there. With that, go to your desk, go to the bathroom, hit that record button on your phone, then you go into that meeting knowing that you have that backup in the event they put their foot in their mouth, and 9 times out of 10, they always will. Another thing you can do to protect yourself is you can also record the meetings with your coworkers, i.e. people that see what's going on, but they don't necessarily feel comfortable saying what's happening. All you need for them to do is confirm what you know is going on, and with that, you have another piece of evidence to add to your case, because at this point, that's what you're building. These situations, I can tell you firsthand, can be very stressful, and they definitely can take a toll on your emotional well-being. I can tell you that firsthand because, again, I've been there. With that, what you're going to do is make sure you're speaking to a professional and documenting it there also. Everyone's not going to agree with this, but most of the times, especially with these big companies, where you hit them back is in their pockets. That's the only time that people learn lessons. What I'm also going to need for you to do as well is not to quit. They want you to quit. That's why they're acting an ass. They also want you to leave without them having to pay you or give you unemployment, any sort of severance or anything like that. With that, if you can stay the course, stay, let them fire you, because again, if it's a wrongful termination situation, you're going to use that against them and you're going to use that to get paid. If the situation is extremely hostile and volatile, I suggest that you speak to a workplace and employment attorney. Now, this is going to differ from state to state, and I'm in New York, so I can speak to New York, but you do have people who will take the case pro bono if they see something there where some kind of funds will be paid back from the company. Make sure that you and the attorney are the right fit, and you also want to have somebody that is willing to fight. And I'm not talking about a cute little dynasty cat fight. I'm talking about a good old dirty down fight if they have to. Make sure you find somebody that is willing to fight for your cause. This other tip is something that I've spoken on before, but you're also going to want to know that employee handbook from start to finish. 9 times out of 10, again, these people are fools, they are idiots, and whatever rule is in that book is something that they are actively breaking. Harassment, all of that, that's usually against your code of conduct. With that, if that is what's happening, refer back to that handbook, let them know what rule or policy they're breaking, and document that. Put that in email. For the girl that was at Ebin, they're trying to say that there were all kinds of KPIs, all kinds of warnings that they gave her that she wasn't aware of. When you put something like that out there, you actually have to back it up and justify. Also, let me say this as well. HR sometimes will try to get you caught in a lie or caught in a situation. If they give you any sort of corrective action plan and you don't agree with what is in that corrective action plan, you are not obliged to sign anything. Do not sign any sort of 30, 60, 90. They can give it to you, but you don't agree with what is in there. Do not sign that documentation, because essentially you are agreeing to what they are saying and what they are outlining. Sorry for what happened to that girl, but trust and believe, she seemed to have it documented pretty well, and with that, they're going to have to pay for their actions in more ways than one. I'm telling you from experience, get your coin and get them on tape.